Later this week. Probably Wednesday or Thursday. This will be out.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. So how's everything going on your end?
Everything is great. Holidays went well. Spent way too much money, and so yeah, it was great holidays, and now we're back to the grind and back to work. And
That's usually
so,
how it works. Kim and I promised each other like we're just gonna buy for the kids this year, and then she ended up buying me this like cool camera gadget thing, and I stuck to my end of it. Actually, no, I bought her some gaiters, but that I didn't spend too much on those.
uh-huh. Yeah, we've done that in the past where we've said no, we won't buy each other anything, and we end up sneaking things in on each other, and it's kind of fun.
For sure, for sure. Well, so let's get this thing rolling here. Do you want to start off with an intro to let people know exactly who I got on the show?
Sure, no problem. Well, my name is Jeff Barlow, and I'm the owner of Nimrod Outdoors, and been doing Nimrod for about 3 years now. And it started as, well, my wife and I had a joint Facebook account years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and she came to me one day and said she was sick and tired of seeing all my hunting stuff on our Facebook account. So you got to go do something else. So about that time, I had been reading in the scriptures where it talked about, in Genesis, where it talked about Nimrod, the mighty hunter. And so I thought, you know what, that's perfect. And at that point in time, I was looking for something to do to stay involved with my teenage sons. And of course, they love social media and all that. So I thought, let's start something. Let's do something. And so we started up a Facebook and Instagram, and started a YouTube channel, and just kind of just playing with it and having a lot of fun. And I think the message that we're sending out there, the people are liking it. I think they're catching on to what we're talking about, and what we're sharing, and they're enjoying it. So
Yeah, I discovered you guys through your YouTube videos, and I really like them. I like the content that you guys produce. So I reached out because it seemed like your content was really based around the kids, and
yeah.
I was just like I thought that was pretty cool. I haven't really seen that too much out there. And then the one that where I forget which kid it was, but he missed a mule deer, and then I think he shot the next one. He killed the next one he shot at.
Yep.
And like that was pretty cool. And so I think you told me this, you have 7 kids.
We have 7 kids. Yep, 6 of them are boys.
What ranges are we talking about from age here?
Our oldest is almost 21.
Okay.
And then our second one is 18 and a half. Then we have a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old.
Holy smokes! Are they all into hunting?
Yes, even our one daughter enjoys hunting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she was just in here saying, "Dad, I want to be in on your podcast. I'll record the whole thing." I'm like, "No, just leave."
Man, that'd be expensive if you guys have a good year drawing tags.
Oh yeah, it can get real expensive. My wife actually has 21 limited entry bull elk points in Utah. We thought for sure she was going to draw last year. She didn't. And we were very lucky because I drew a once in a lifetime moose tag. So it would have got real expensive real quick. So
yeah. And so Utah, I have no idea about anybody that's ever hunted Utah. You're the first guy I talked to that's actually, hunted there and lived there. And so is there a lot of tags? Well, there's probably not a lot of tags because in Oregon, we have, probably half a dozen tags, maybe more, that would take, 20 years, 18 plus years to draw.
Yeah, yeah.
And Utah's known for some pretty good size animals. You guys manage for trophy, don't you?
Yeah, they've got quite a few units. Some of them they manage for trophy, and those will take you upwards of 20 plus years to draw. And then they have some that they manage more for quantity. You can still get great animals off of those units, but there's more opportunity for people. And those, you can draw them in 9 or so years.
Really?
So they have some of both, just depending on what you're after. Where my wife has now got 21 points, we're putting her in for the top unit in the state, so that she can draw that big bull tag there. The one thing that kind of irritates me with Utah's the way they do it is, as a resident, I can only put in for one species limited entry. So I have to choose a deer or an elk or an antelope, and I can only put in for one once in a lifetime at a time. So an out-of-stater can come in and they can actually apply for all limited entries. And they can do an antelope, a mule deer, a bull elk, and they can apply for all of them. But as a resident, I can only apply for one. And so, why?
Yeah. Well, what about general season opportunities for you guys? Is there stuff that you guys can go hunt every year?
Yeah, there's a lot of general season opportunities. They have different things. Most of the time you can get a general season elk tag. The deer tags seem to go a lot faster, and sometimes you don't get those in the draw. And then they don't really have any leftover tags that you can pick up over the counter. But the elk, there are open units where you can pick them up over the counter and hunt those, and they're great opportunities. Two of my good friends got those tags this year, those over the counter tags, and went out. One got a nice 5-point bull elk, and the other got a small little raghorn. So yeah, there's some great opportunities just over the counter as well. That's
interesting. Yeah, Oregon's more of a opportunity state. I mean, we have like a couple good units, and the wolves are starting to move in there, and it's just, I don't know, man. After hunting Idaho, it was like, man, Oregon sucks. And, it does. I mean, I had a great year this year in Oregon, but the draw tag I got for my mule deer, I'll be getting that tag again hopefully soon, because that was a fun tag. And
cool.
Then, I'm just kind of in limbo right now. I've got like 6 or 7 elk points, and I'm like, do I wait for like the Mount Emily kind of thing, or do I just go for those medium range units? Because I'm going to shoot the same quality bull if it walks out in front of me in that mid range versus the high end. Because I if I see a 300 bull, I don't have that much self control.
Yeah, the unit that's right here by our house, it's managed more for the opportunity. There are still some awesome animals on this unit. It doesn't take the 20 points to draw it. You can draw it with 10 to 15 points. But we set up there as we're deer hunting up here, and we watch 320, 330, 340 bulls run around all the time. And so it's a great opportunity hunt without having to wait 20 plus years to draw that tag. So there are those great units out there that you're looking from a 320 to 340 is a great bull, but you go to that next step up and you're looking 350 to 380s, and sometimes pushing bigger. So there's some great units, and there's some great quality units too.
That's crazy. I mean, yeah, we're still talking 15 years though. I mean, that's over a decade to draw a tag, for. Yeah, I'd rather hunt decent units, every 2 to 3 years, and then, have a chance. Because if you hunt those decent units, there's still monsters in those units. You could always get lucky.
Yeah, you just got to hunt a little harder and look a little further.
Exactly. Well, I want to get into a few things because with having 7 kids and a wife who hunts as well, and you who hunt, how do you manage that? How's that even work?
Well, we're broke most of the time. That second and that third job just to pay for the hunting.
Yeah.
No, we try to take everybody hunting that wants to go with us. Had a young man a couple years ago go with us that his dad wasn't able to take him out that year, and so we said, you know what, come on, go with us, let's go. We were able to take him out, and he spent the whole archery season with us out in the hills. A great young man, and it was a great opportunity for us to be able to take him with us. Anybody that wants to go, we'll take them. We're game to take anybody. I love taking, especially the youth. I love taking the youth out, introducing them to the outdoors and my passion, what I'm here for and what I like to do. And I tried to instill that same passion in my children. So, my oldest boy that's not living at home right now, 20 years old, he's got that same passion, and you can watch the little 5-year-old run around when we're watching a hunting video on YouTube or something, and he'll be bugling like an elk, a little 5-year-old. So, it's just something that we try to teach our kids, my wife and I, to teach them about the love of outdoors and the respect for the outdoors. And anybody that wants to come with us, we're happy to take them.
At what age can kids start hunting in Utah?
They can start hunting at 12 years old. They have to go through a hunter safety program. They have to get what they call a blue card. And once they get that blue card, they're 12 years old, they can start hunting. So my 12-year-old will start hunting this year. So it'll be his first year. His older brother that's 15, he's been hunting now for 2 years. And you saw one of the videos that he killed a nice 4-point buck.
Yeah, he did.
We had a great little teaching moment on that video. We crested the ridge first thing in the morning, and Jacob, my 18-year-old, who, if you're hunting with us, you want to go with Jacob, because that kid can find animals anywhere. He has got the best pair of eyes I've seen in a long, long time. But Jacob crested the hill before us, and he spotted the bucks down below us. And there was one really nice buck. And if you see it on the video, it was just sitting there feeding. And we tried to get Joey all set up. He was the only one with the tag. So we tried to get Joey all set up, and his heart was just a pumping, I think, and he couldn't calm himself down. And his first shot, you see it in the video, and it just barely clears the back of the buck, just right over the back, and hits the dirt behind it, and that buck spooks, and he turns and runs. It doesn't run real far because he didn't know what was going on. So Joey gets a second shot and misses it, and it turns and runs again, and Joey gets another shot at it, and it runs, and it ends up running over the ridge, and Joey and I followed it over. We found it. It was a long, long ways away. It was about 650 yards out, where we saw it on the opposite side of the canyon. And Joey says, "I don't feel comfortable shooting it that far," which was a big choice for a 14, 15-year-old. That's a hard choice to say, I don't feel comfortable.
Right.
So I was proud of him for that. So we said, no problem. Let's just sit here and we'll watch it. We'll bed it. And once it beds back down, then we'll go after it. And as we sat there and watched, somebody that did feel comfortable at 650 yards took a shot and dropped it in its tracks.
Really?
So we watched the whole thing and we're like, oh, you're kidding me. So that was kind of a bummer for him, but it was a teaching moment about, how important it is to get yourself calmed down and get your heart rate down and take your breath and take your time and make the shot. And the second time, he made it count. He followed his own advice and made a great shot on a great little 4-point buck, and the rest was history.
Yeah, I like that episode a lot. What gun were you using? How far was that first buck at?
First buck was about 250 yards. But it was real steep downhill shot. It was a tough shot for a 14-year-old, but he made a good shot, just barely went over its back. But the second shot was at about 200, 175, 200 yards, and made a great shot on that one.
Right on.
So we were able to recover that one, and he's shooting a 308. Was what he was shooting that day. So
I love that round. I've harvested a lot of animals with the 308, and I've been using the Hornady SSTs, and haven't had any issues. Never looked back.
Great gun, great load. I mean, it's a great all around weapon for a kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm really curious because, you know, at what age do you start with the kid? Do you start making it important to where, okay, we're here to have fun, we're here to learn, but at what point is it, okay, well, now we're putting meat in the freezer? So without putting a lot of pressure on, because when I grew up, you know, me and my dad, you know, bless my dad, we both get so excited, or used to get so excited when a deer would go up, and it would be shoot, 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 shoot. It sounded like World War III would go off. I would hit everything but the deer, and it just was a complete shit show. It just would go downhill real quick. And so I mean, how do you manage that? And then, you know, what ages do you start expecting more from them, from actually starting to put meat in the freezer?
You know, the thing that I've learned is they'll let you know when they're ready, ready to move from that little forky that's off the side of the road that just gets them excited, and to you know, my 18-year-old Jacob, he'll tell me, no, I'm not interested in that buck, Dad. I'll keep looking. And so they come to a point themselves where they will turn. I wrote an article for the Mule Deer Foundation magazine a while ago. It was called Trophy Hunter to Trophy Teacher. Basically, it was my life cycle as a hunter, growing up, learning from my dad, and then becoming a hunter of my own. And before I had kids, being a trophy hunter, you know, going after those big bucks. And then as I started having kids and started taking my kids out, I don't know about you, but have you ever tried to haul 4 kids traipsing behind you while you're hunting?
No.
There's no quiet in it whatsoever. So to be able to sneak up on a deer during archery season, next to impossible.
I could see getting it done maybe with a gun, and that would still be a challenge.
Yeah, it's still a challenge, but you can do it. So it was an evolution of my life as a hunter, you know, going from a trophy hunter to a trophy teacher, and teaching my children about how to be a good ethical hunter and what you need to do and that kind of thing. So it was a fun article to write. You know, we talk about the things like, and I remember my dad saying the same things to me: shush, be quiet, stop talking, or watch where you're walking, you're breaking every branch, or you know things like that. And the things that I see myself teaching my kids, you know, and we talk about doing things to keep it entertaining. You know, those summer afternoons when it's hot, you know, you have great hunting in the morning first thing, then you get those long summer days where it's really hot, and then there's some good hunting in the evening again. But during those long summer days, what do?
Yeah.
You know, we came up with a game where we'll set on a ridge so we can glass and see if we can find some bedded deer. But while we're doing that, we'll take the rangefinder out and we'll pick out different objects away from us on the other side of the mountain. And one of us will range it, and the others will guess to see who can come the closest to getting it. So not only does it keep it entertaining, but it also educates them at the same time. You know, they learn to judge yardages. So, you know, just things like that to keep it fun and entertaining. And then most of all, we try to teach them about how to respect the outdoors and the animals that you're pursuing as well.
That's interesting. I know when you're saying, you know, if the kid will let you know if you're ready for when he's ready for this or that. And I was always ready for the big bucks. I never had a problem telling my dad, nope.
Nope.
And, you know, I was never afraid of eating a tag, really. I mean, I was always, you know, and that's something I struggle with when I go out and I hunt and I'm promoting, you know, hunting in my light and stuff like that. It's like I don't want to just make it sound like it's all about killing a big buck, because that's really not what it's about. And I've had a few kids reach out here locally that wanted to learn how to bow hunt, and a friend of mine took the kid out eventually, and the kid said, "Well, I don't want to shoot it if it's not a huge buck." And he's like, "Huh. Well, buddy, you're shooting the first thing that walks out if you're going with me." And it was just kind of interesting, you know. It's like, because the kids never hunted and just had it ingrained in them, big bucks, you know, from the media, and it just, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm into killing, bigger, older deer. It's just a different, it's just a different experience than going out and just shooting a fork and horn that'll let you, get away with
Correct.
a lot more, and
Correct.
And how do you promote, or how do you get around that from, I'm sure your kids maybe watch hunting shows and stuff, and
all the time.
how do you navigate that, and how do you instill in them, if you want to shoot that little buck, that's fine, if that's what your heart desires, but how do you do that?
I talked with a friend of mine, and a lot of people know him. His name on social media is Muley Slayer, Mark Smith. And he hit it pretty well on the head. He's like, don't worry so much about those big bucks. Get your hands dirty, get them bloody, release those arrows, let them go, and practice those things so that once that big buck does step out, you're practiced, you're ready, you're refined. Instead of like Joey on that first buck, his heart's just a pounding, and his eyeballs are this big. The more opportunities you give yourself, the more practice you give yourself, even if it's the little bucks, the better you are once you move into that trophy hunting and that big buck steps out. Because I don't care who you are, even me, 45 years old and have been hunting for the last, 35 or more, I still get excited when I see a big buck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no getting over that, especially if you don't give yourselves opportunity to practice. And so I go with that philosophy, like Mark Smith was talking about, and get your arrow bloody, get your gun, let it go, let it bark, take those opportunities to practice and learn, and get some deer under your belt before you worry about killing those big ones.
That's a good perspective. And to elaborate on that a little bit more, from a guy that I learned how to bow hunt from elk with, I talk about him all the time. I was like, how do you get so good at killing bulls every year, man? Like, yeah. I couldn't even find the average hunter here in Oregon's like every 7 years they get a bull. And he's like, I got really good at killing the cows. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, once you start getting into the herds, and not just getting into the herds with no expectation of what you're going to kill, just first opportunity you get, he's like, you're gonna learn real quick the dynamics, when, where, what, how, why, and that will lead you into the bulls. And if you start getting into the herds with the cows, he's a bow hunter, Wow, now there's bulls. And I thought that's something he said back when I was still in high school, and that just stuck with me. And I was like, man, if I'm gonna get good at this thing, I'm just gonna hunt. I'm not.
Yeah.
And that just kind of contrasts to what you were just saying. Is like, man, that's really interesting.
Yeah, and if you do just get out there and get busy and get hunting and work hard, those opportunities that those big bucks will show up. Joey, now, I mean, we hunt hard. We put our packs on. We get away from the roads. We hunt hard. And Joey, in the 2 years that he's been hunting, he's now 2 for 2 on 4 points.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the opportunities show up when you put the work in.
That's crazy. Yeah, I killed my first I hunted for a long time, and I don't think I've ever actually killed a straight 4-point blacktail. I've always had like a 4x3, like a straight 4-point. I was like, man, and then now I have, actually, no, I do have one. I killed one with my bow a couple years ago, but
nice.
It was just getting good at killing those smaller bucks. I started getting really, better at killing those bigger bucks, and then even my first mule deer, I was so excited because I just knew it was a 4-point, and I was like 16 at the time, and I'd been hunting since I was 12, trying to kill a big one. And I went up to it. It was a 6x4. It had 2 tiny little cheaters. I was like, gosh,
hey, they count.
Saw those off,
They count.
It counts. But so what are some of the challenges outside of like, trying to keep the kids quiet and stuff? I mean, how do you choose which one shoots first and all that stuff if you have more than one tag?
Yeah, that's a good question. In Utah, and I don't know about other states, but there's age progressions, I guess you could call them. whereas a 12-year-old up through about 16, you're supposed to stay within, what do they call it?
Sight?
No, hearing distance. You have to be able to talk to each other.
Oh, okay.
Once you get over 16, you can go out a little bit further to sight and things like that. When you hit 18, you can go on your own. So we've got my 18-year-old. He goes on his own now. We always work together. You work this side of the canyon, I'll work this side of the canyon, whatnot. But he usually takes one of the boys with him. He'll take the 12-year-old that's going to start hunting next year. He'll take Jace with him. They'll go one way, and then Joey and I will go the other way, so that Joey, as the young hunter, is staying with me. And we're able to kind of split up and cover more ground and do it that way, so that we're not all traipsing, 4 of us through the forest together at the same time. We kind of go in different directions, and we'll have pre-designed plans. You guys go up this canyon, we'll go up this canyon over here, we'll meet at this point, and things like that. So that does help now to have an older one. When they were younger, it was a tough chore. I tell you, it was a real tough chore to take 4 boys with me, and get out there and try to kill a deer. It really was, especially on the archery season. It was almost impossible.
I was going to say, man, with a bow in hand, my dad used to, and I don't remember this, I was too young, but apparently he used to take us bow hunting, and he'd have one of us on my back or on his back after we got tired of walking. And then when we'd see a buck trying to draw back with a kid going like this and just pointing and all excited, he's like, good luck.
Yeah, it is really tough when they're younger, but I still remember as a young kid walking there with my dad and following him in his footsteps, and just that experience helps grow that passion. Whether you kill a deer or not, just to be out there as a father and son combination is pretty awesome. And to think that killing a deer or harvesting an animal with your boy there with you, that is a pretty awesome experience, but it holds nothing in comparison to being the dad and watching your kid take his first deer. That is a pretty awesome experience right there.
I was actually going to lead into that, because I'm like, and this is probably a question I'm asking it because I don't have kids, and if I had kids, I wouldn't have to ask this, but how do you manage your wants and desires for going out and filling your tags, but yet you have 7 kids and a wife to also, because I imagine you still want to hunt and go out and fill your own tag.
Oh yeah. This year was a little different. I did not have a deer tag. I did not draw a deer tag. And so I was relegated to film crew. Which was awesome. It was a totally different perspective for me to be on that end, not having a tag and working through it that way as the filmer instead of in front of the camera and in front of the weapon. So that was fun. But I don't know, with Jace, our 12-year-old that's coming up to be his first year hunting this year. It's almost just kind of an unwritten, unspoken thing that he gets the first opportunity, without question. This last year, when it was just Joey and Jacob hunting, Joey had harvested a nice deer. Jacob's harvested a few nice deer, but Jacob was still, let's get Joey a buck, and then I'll worry about me. So I don't know. It's kind of, everybody's pretty unselfish about it. It's kind of nice.
That's interesting. It's funny. My dad and I go hunting now, and he's just loves to go hunting for the experience. And he has always told me, and I don't know where he got it, because I know he didn't come up with it on his own, but he said there's, the 3 stages of a hunter. I don't know if you've heard that and stuff. And he's just in the stage where he just enjoys being out there. He doesn't care if he kills anything. And then you have me that's, I'm looking for one of the biggest bucks on the mountain, or one I'm happy to go home with. And so I'm pointing out bucks. I'm like, there's one. And he just likes going hunting, like over in Idaho, the buck that he shot, I passed up, like it's like, it's right here. Go get it. And,
yeah, I don't think I killed a buck in 3 years.
Really?
The last one was with my 20-year-old boy. Was about 3 or 4 years ago when we killed back to back. I actually killed my buck, and he was old enough to go on his own at that time. So it was probably 3 years ago, because he's almost 21, and that would have put him at 18. So he's old enough to go. So as I was processing mine and quartering it up and getting it ready to haul down to the car, he took off and went hunting. And just as we were about ready to put all the stuff in our backpacks, he come walking over the hill, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he says, "We're tagged out." Said, oh crap! We got a lot of work to do. So we got a picture of us with both of our bucks on our backs together, standing there together, and that was a really cool experience to be able to do that.
That would be. This is the first year me and my dad actually got to hunt together, and I forget how long it's been. It's been probably over 10 years. I mean, with both of us having tags in our pockets, because I'm a social hunter. I'll go hunting with a bunch of guys. I don't care. My dad's like, I just want to go hunt with my kids if I go hunting with anybody, or maybe my uncle.
Yep.
So that kind of just has kind of separated us going out and going and doing our own things. And then usually if we're hunting together, one of us has a tag and we're helping the other one out, but
yeah,
but yeah, Idaho was awesome. Just watching him we were 5 miles deep, and it was pain in the ass to get that buck out of there. But it was fun. It was sure fun to hunt together again. I'm thinking about maybe making that Idaho trip an annual, father-son kind of thing, because it was way too long. I felt so bad. I'm like, man, it's been that
I've heard it is a great hunt, that Idaho deer hunt.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
And the third season Colorado.
Third season Colorado?
I would love to get in on that one too. So
yeah, is that a general tag, or do you have to draw that tag?
No, that's a draw tag.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a draw tag. But I've heard that's an excellent hunt. It's late October, first part of November. They're starting to rut. Into mid-November. Yeah, it's an awesome hunt.
That would be. So with your kids, how do you? I mean, you said you use a 308. I mean, have you figured a good caliber to start them as they're younger and work their way up? Because I started with a freaking 270, and I wouldn't suggest that. I mean,
that's what I shoot right now.
Really?
And my 18-year-old, he shoots a 30-06. My 20-year-old shoots a 308. We just have a different variety of guns that we can use. But one thing that we go out as a family quite often, and we'll go shoot, and we'll take the guns with us, anywhere from a 223, 308, 30-06. For my moose hunt, I had a moose hunt this year, and I was using a 300 Win Mag. And as we went to sight that gun in, we had everybody out there shooting, and I had my 12-year-old shot the 300 Win Mag. My daughter, 10-year-old, she shot the 300 Win Mag. My 8-year-old son wanted to, and I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to put him behind the 300 Win Mag yet.
This has a brake on it and everything, or?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, man.
Yeah, it did have a brake on it. But, the more you get them used to shooting them at a younger age, once they get into the hunting, it's not a big thing to them anymore. You get them comfortable with the firearm. There's a lot of people out there that say, don't teach your kids anything about firearms. They're too little. They don't. And we're more of a philosophy of teach them how to respect that firearm as to what it is. And it's not a toy. It has a purpose, and that purpose is to harvest things. And you respect it, and you learn how to use it. And that's kind of our philosophy.
Growing up when I was a kid, my dad, I got my first gun, I think when I was 4, it was a 22, and that was, a BB gun. And then when I was 4, he got me my 22. And, from my perspective, just because that was the way I was raised, it was like, I'd rather have them be educated than curious,
Yes, very much so. Very, very much so.
Curious is dangerous. I mean,
yeah.
So But and so I, my brothers. It's kind of fun watching my brother raise his kids now because they're they're at that young age where Hunter's going to start Owen's going to start hunting and stuff like that, and then Hunter's. Mm-hmm. He's not even old enough, not even close to being old enough. But Oregon has this mentor program where you can give your tag to the kid, and they can start, I think, doing that at like 9.
Wow.
Yeah, and they never had that when I was a kid.
That is awesome.
It is pretty cool. I mean, I don't think my brother's killed a buck in a few years because maybe he has. I think he killed a little.
Giving his tag away to his kid.
yeah, or is more worried about getting his wife a deer and stuff like that. So and I totally get it. If I could give my wife my tag, I totally would. But she goes out and she fills her own.
Yeah, they had that mentor program. They adopted that mentor program here in Utah a few years back, and it's great. It's a way to keep those kids. I mean, if you think about it, if you're a 12-year-old or a 13 or 14-year-old, and you don't draw a tag for the first couple of years of your hunting career, mm-hmm. and those kids lose interest really fast.
Yeah.
So to be able to, as a dad, kind of pass my tag on to him and let him be able to harvest that animal, I'm all for that. All for it.
That's crazy. Yeah, because Oregon, there's an unlimited amount of general season tags. Anybody can go out and go buy a general season tag and go hunt a huge chunk of land, and it's like, so we don't really have that problem here. But then again, it's like trying to teach my wife how to hunt because she's still learning and stuff. It's like you run into these guys that, I think I've talked about it before, but we just get not friendly guys. We'll put it that way. They are there to. I don't even think they're there to kill anything. They're just there to screw other hunters over because we were like a mile deep out this dead-end road that we parked at 3:30 in the morning. They bomb past us, walk through the unit, kick everything out of the unit to get down to where we were going to go hike. And then once they see us get down there and I make eye contact with them, they take down at the end of the unit, kick everything out there, laughing on the way out. I'm like, man, I wish.
Be nice.
I wish Kim wasn't here. My hunting partner was here.
Be nice.
Exactly. Yeah. And, they kicked the buck we were after out of there. I was like, man, never saw him again. She ended up eating her tag that year. Yeah, I was like,
that makes it tough.
It does. It does. But having controlled hunts, that still happens on controlled hunts too. I mean,
yep. There's people out there that are just they're ornery people. We'll just put it that way. They're just ornery people. But there are some people out there that are just class act, top-notch people that I have met on the mountain, and I'll be friends for life with them. They're just some of them are just the salt of the earth, great people.
I wish I could meet those ones. I just must have the worst luck, man. It's because even when we went going a Christmas tree hunting. I was like, man, if my wife was not here, my hunting partner was here, we would be having words. It's just any time I go out into the woods, my luck is so bad. Well, my hunting partner was there, but his wife was there too. So we just kind of gritted our teeth and just,
yeah. Yeah, we don't want to talk about Christmas trees. Yeah, 2 years ago, we were out getting a Christmas tree. My wife slipped on some ice. It was just after Thanksgiving, and she broke both bones in her lower leg.
Oh, wow.
And he was in a cast. Well, not a cast. He was in a what do they call it? Wasn't a cast. Wasn't a hard cast. It was a soft cast. Okay. She was in that for 6 weeks, 8 weeks during Christmas and after the first of the year, and that became a very, very expensive Christmas tree.
Yeah. Well, did you guys still take the Christmas tree home once you broke her leg? Did you guys at least make the time for it?
Well, here's the quick story on it. We were going up the trail looking for a Christmas tree, and of course that's a nice one, and that's a nice one, and we just keep going up the trail, and we get up there far enough that I'm like, okay, we got to make a decision. We got to get back. What one do you want? She goes, I think I like the very first one that we saw. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? So me and a couple of the boys ran back down the trail to go down and cut the first one and have it cut down and headed back to the car by the time her and the little kids got there. We get back down to the area, and I look at Jacob, and I'm like, which one was it? I couldn't remember. So we sat there and waited and waited and waited, and it was taking way too long. So I turned around and ran back up the trail to find her, hobbling down the trail on one foot, trying to get down the trail. So we never even ended up cutting a tree that day.
Oh man. Yeah, we didn't even do a Christmas tree this year. We were just too busy. My dad was like, "You do a Christmas tree, kid. You do a Christmas tree." I was like, "All right, I'll do one next
year." This year we were going back out to get our Christmas tree, and it was the day before we were going out to get it that we'd planned to go out and get it. My 12-year-old boy Jace, he crashed on his mountain bike and broke his collarbone.
Oh.
And so now we have 2 years in a row revolving around Christmas trees that we have broken bones, and it's a tradition we have got to stop.
Yeah, just go to the parking lot next time and just go there.
Yes.
So another question here about you said you do the filming and stuff now, and obviously you're uploading onto YouTube.
Yeah.
What camera equipment are you guys using and stuff? Because the video quality was pretty good. I liked it. It looked like maybe a camcorder.
Very good question. Well, as you know, with 7 kids, we're broke all the time. We don't have that great of filming equipment. And that's one thing I want everybody out there to know is you can do this with what you have. I film, I would say, previous to my moose hunt, I would say I filmed 90% on my cell phone. And then we had a little Sony point and shoot camera that would do some filming with as well. Just before my moose hunt, I splurged a little bit and I bought me a nicer camera. I bought me a Sony AX53, which is a pretty nice camcorder. We filmed some of the moose hunt on that, and I've used it since as well. But really, most of our footage has been taken on my cell phone and that little point and shoot up until this fall.
Yeah, because I could tell, just by the way you guys are zooming, that it was a camcorder. But I mean, the video quality is really well, and I see your phone scope shirt on there.
Yep.
I use phone scopes because I carry a DSLR, and my DSLRs won't go 300-400 yards. I don't,
Yep.
100 is about as far as I can get with my DSLRs. And so anything past that, it's really pretty much just a phone scope. And what you can do with those things, man, it's pretty nice. And I see you have a Galaxy S7 according to the screen here. Those things have amazing cameras, especially over an iPhone. Those things have killer cameras.
They do. I've looked at upgrading to a new Samsung, an S8 or an S9, and I don't like the video quality as well as this older S7, so I just stay with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, it's been a really, really good camera. We have the phone scope attachment on it all the time. In fact, it's right. I just took it off. It's on there all the time. And so, we're able to break out the spotting scope really quick and put the phone scope on and get some good footage when the animals are out there a few hundred yards.
Have you guys got the rifle scope one yet?
We do have, the scope vision. No, I haven't got that one yet, but that would be cool to have.
Yes.
That would really, really cool to have. We have one that is a universal adapter that would fit on my rifle scope, but it would block the vision. I couldn't see through my scope if I was to do that. I'd have to watch my phone and do it that way, which would make it a lot harder. But scope vision, I want one bad.
Same here. I don't even know what the price tag is on those things, but when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy you as soon as I get a chance, and I still haven't bought one.
That's on the list. That's on the list.
Yeah. Now that Christmas is over, I'm like, man, I should have told my wife about
that. Slip that hint in there somewhere, huh?
Yeah, maybe next year. Luckily, I don't rifle hunt that much, but when I do, it'd be nice to, show everybody. See, my crosshairs never mind, they weren't on it. I do a lot of missing when I rifle hunt. It seems like I need a bow.
Yeah. You know, when we were first starting to have kids, and we had a couple of boys, people would always tell me, "Oh, it's okay. You know, boys are a lot cheaper than the girls are. The girls, you know, with prom dresses and this and that." I'm like, "Okay, cool, but holy cow, boys are expensive.
Yeah.
And you have to buy new bows and new guns, and you have to ammo and ammo and ammo. Boys are expensive, let me tell you."
Well, especially when you probably get more doctor's bills with a boy, you've broken arm.
Doctor's bills, and you don't even want to know what my food budget is.
Oh, yeah. Wait, you got like 3 teenagers in your house right now?
In the house right now, 3 teenage boys. Yep, but we've had 4 at one time. So yeah, they are pricey.
I wouldn't even want to know, man. We go through food here. Kim's on the keto diet, and that's expensive. And then I just eat whatever, and then when I go work it off, I'll go to the gym. You know, like, I don't know. I need to get better on my diet. I really do. I've always heard that, you know, your body's built in the kitchen and maintained in the gym, or whatever that quote is.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, it's what I've heard, and I'm like, well, maybe that's why I have such horrible, you know. I need to get my butt back in the gym. It's been so hard doing all these podcasts and YouTube videos lately. It's like, man, by the time I'm done, it's like 1:00 in the morning, you know?
Yes.
So.
Yep. You gotta hit the grind, man. Just grind it out.
It is, but so how do you do your editing? Do you do your own editing?
I do my own editing. For a while, I was using free Windows Media Player.
Okay.
Windows Movie Maker, sorry. And I was just using Windows Movie Maker. It was free, so I didn't have to worry about spending more money. I've since upgraded to, what's it called? Adobe Premiere.
That's what I use. I got the demo version.
Yeah, so that's what I use now is Premiere. And so I'm learning some of the things there's much more. You got a lot more functions and things you can do with it over Movie Maker. So I'm trying to learn some of those now. But yeah, great learning curve. I love it.
Which model are you using? I got 15 is the one I'm using.
It's somewhere on there, 15 or 60. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, mine's probably 3 years old now.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever I could get my hands on, you know.
Yeah, I hear you there. I mean, I finally feel like I've outgrown it, even though I haven't used all the features on it yet. But you know, there's things like watching some of my videos or some of my the videos of the guys I watch where they kind of do these cinematic things, and then I'm like, I could do that, and then so it's just really cool because I'm like, the more I edit and the better I get at it, I'm starting to figure out these little tricks these guys are doing. I'm like, you're actually not that good. I know what you're up to, you know, like. I'm catching on to you. You give me about another, 50 years, I'll be where you're at.
That's right. I'm going to catch up.
So
by then they'll have some totally new program that I won't have any idea how to run, and I'll still be behind.
Dude, I tried learning how to use a Mac here the other day. My computer guy's like, try this. I'll give you a super good deal on it if you like it. And after like a month or 2 months, I'm like, I was back to using my computer. I was like, I can't do this. I am not a Mac guy.
Yeah, I use a PC every day at work, and there's no way I could change from PC to Mac back to PC. Yeah, no way.
I couldn't do it. And they were using these like GarageBand and iMovie are like the easiest things to use. I'm like, dude, I couldn't even figure out how to edit and trim my videos on there. Like I couldn't figure it out. And then like I spent 3 hours trying to do something I could have done on in 45 minutes on my computer.
That's right.
It's not working. But you just got to stick with what you're good at, with what you get used to, I guess.
Yeah, and master it.
Yeah. So where's Nimrod going this year for filming and uploading content? You guys gonna try and make it into something?
Yeah, we're gonna try to blow it up. We've done the last couple of years. We've done a springtime thing called Playing Where They're Laying. It's all about shed hunting.
Oh, cool.
So we're out there playing where the sheds are laying. Going and trying to pick them up and find them. And so we'll do a series of Playing Where They're Laying all spring while we're out shed hunting. Every time we go out, we'll try to make a film of that while we go. And then we'll
kind
be
of
back.
Vlog style.
Yeah, kind of a blog style. That's what we do. It's the easiest way to go with the kids. They're they're not all into that cinematic stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it's more of a vlog style, just us being us, you know. Mm-hmm. And then comes summertime, we'll be out camping and doing some summer scouting, and then back at it in the fall. Hopefully, we'll have a big bull tag here in Utah. Some of the other guys there that we hunt with, we have some good friends that we hunt with all the time, and we're looking at maybe doing an out-of-state archery elk hunt in Colorado. Maybe we'd come up to your neck of the woods. That'd be kind of fun.
I've got a few spots I'd love to take somebody, so let me know.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, there's plenty of elk here, but I mean, killing a big bull is probably not very likely. We'll put it that way. It's an
any bull's fun to kill.
Yeah, if you're willing to shoot a cow, I could, just give me a couple days. We'll get you on.
There you go. So then we've got that we want to do. We want to. We just put in for turkey tags. Haven't heard back from turkey tags yet, so we might be turkey hunting, which would be a lot of fun. Again, Joey was able to harvest his first ever turkey last year, and we posted that video up. That was fun. And so, we just got a lot of things in the works, so it'll be fun. It'll be a good year.
That's pretty cool, man. I really enjoy promoting, other platforms that I think are doing things right, like you guys taking your kids out. And when you told me you had 7 kids, I'm like, I got to figure out how this guy's doing that.
I haven't figured it out yet either. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants.
Well, I really appreciate what you do, and I think you have an awesome platform and a YouTube channel, man. And
appreciate it.
If this can help you grow a little bit, then that's just icing on the cake. And I really appreciate you come on to the show. I mean, is there anything that why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, of course. Mm-hmm. Most of them are listed as Nimrod Outdoors. Mm-hmm. We even have a Snapchat. My kids wanted me to get a Snapchat. So we have a Snapchat, and you can look us up on Snapchat if you want to.
Funny, I don't have one of those. I've never had. I don't even know what that is.
I don't use it, but I have one.
Perfect.
So yeah, we're on most of the social media platforms. We have a website. It is www.beanimrod.com.
Okay.
And you can go on there and you can check us out. You can. We have some apparel on there. You can get hats, shirts, hoodies. Good looking hats.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of a cool. It's like a stag mixed with a. Yeah, it's kind of like a stag.
Okay.
With a buck.
Here's what it is. This is the Nimrod Delk.
I can see it.
We took the front end of the elk,
mm-hmm.
The front diggers, and then the top end of a mule deer, and we combined them. The world's definition, and when if somebody calls you a Nimrod, most of the time people think you're screwed up.
Yeah.
You're a Nimrod. So we took that screwed up definition and designed our logo to be a screwed up Delk. So that's where the logo came from.
I like that.
We have hats, shirts. We've done hoodies, and so you can go on there and get those and support us that way. That way, either our food budget isn't so bad, or our hunting funds don't have to be as much. So if you want to support us, great. That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can go out and do that, man. And Jeff, I really appreciate your time. I mean, I know especially with having as many kids you do, giving me an hour was probably pretty hard for you.
No, it's a pleasure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been a great hour. So,
well, is there anything closing that you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
Take your kids hunting. I read a little meme a long time ago that said, take your kids hunting so you don't have to hunt for your kids.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's very true. It's very, very true. You take them out there, teach them about the outdoors, and teach them about your passion, and they won't stray far from it. That's good. Well, and if we want to keep hunting going, that's the future right there. I mean, I know that's fairly cliche to say, but I mean, it is absolutely 100% true. You have to be catering to the kids to get them into the sport. I mean, really. You do. You do. I told my boys last year, I was 44. I said, I want to be doing the same thing with you boys and your boys when I'm double my age. And they looked at me, 88? You're going to be hunting? I said, yeah, I want to be hunting when I'm 88. They said, we'll just have to will you out to a point and let you sit there. I said, I don't care. Let's do it.
I want to get to the age where I have grandkids and I shoot something. I say, go get it, kids. And then
that's right. Go get it. I'll be right here waiting.
Exactly. So, all right, man. Well, hey, you have a great night, and I really appreciate you coming on to the show.
Hey, well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Hey, no problem, man.
Talk to you later.
See ya.